Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to our 1.18 Challenge Survival World. Today, you'll notice that we are in a very, very different location from where we were at last week. And if I pull up my coordinates, you will see that I am incredibly far away from our little spawn home base. That's because I have been looking for something very particular, and that just so happens to be, well, it happens to be a swamp, but I've found something here that we can use that will be a lot of fun and quite useful to us. So let's go ahead and get something prepped here. So we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a crafting table and place that down right here. And then what we're going to want to do next is make ourselves a couple of sticks, place them in our crafting table like so. We'll then place some logs down along like that. And finally, place a singular piece of coal in the center. That gives us a campfire. We will then want to place that campfire here underneath this bee nest. And then the next step is just kind of waiting until we have a bee that comes back into the nest. But while we are waiting on that, we need to take these 3 pieces of glass and orient them in the crafting table as if you were making a bucket, and that is going to give us some glass bottles. Now that we have a bee in this nest, if we pull some honey out of it, we get the Be Our Guest advancement, and that ticks one of those off of our list. Now, I am going to hang out here for nightfall, let the bees come back in here, because we should be able to get a secondary advancement here, assuming that this bee here and this bee over in this general direction both pertain to this nest as well. Or, if I'm lucky, this bee will finally decide on a flower to pollinate, and it'll make its way back over here to this bee's nest before the other bees decide that they want to leave. We'll just have to watch and see if that is the case. It looks like it is, and if we act quickly, we can use the axe and get the total bee location achievement. Now, I'm going to get rid of this leather cap because that's not really helping me at all. And then this fire doesn't really need to stay here, or doesn't really serve a purpose anymore, so we'll just go ahead and break it. That's going to give us a little bit of charcoal, but I don't think that I really need anything that's here, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of what little we have left there. Pick up that. Actually, I don't need that crafting table either, because if I need one, I can pick it up. And then we will grab this bed, and we're going to continue on our little adventure to see if we can't find where a swamp is, because there's something I desperately need from a swamp in order to complete another advancement. Now, if that's all we end up doing today, that's not the end of the world, but I did at least want to get those 2 achievements on on camera, so I'm not doing anything massive while I'm not recording it, because I'd like to catalog all of the advancements when I achieve them. So we'll just keep running around and see if we are lucky enough to find ourselves a swamp. So I know I'm still out here looking for this swamp, but I found something that was kind of fun and or interesting. So over there in the distance, you can see that there is a shipwreck, and I've already looted one of these, but I feel like it's good to revisit the concept of looting shipwrecks, and or more specifically, finding the buried treasure in the maps that you can find within their loot chests. And this is another example. I also just think that it's kind of cool that these shipwrecks can spawn on or in these icebergs. So that's kind of fun as well. So what we've got in our hands is we have this map, and we're going to want to make our way over towards the little X coordinate that is outlined on it, which should be out in this general direction. And we're just going to have to keep an eye on our coordinate as we get a little bit closer. Now, once you get within range of the map itself, you will notice that the map colors itself in, and that's a good sign, because it's something that you're honestly looking for when finding the loot contained within these chests. because that allows you to know that you are indeed in the correct area. Now, something that I think is kind of interesting is that in 1.18 they overhauled the overworld generation, and I don't think that they have updated the maps to coincide with that. And so you'll notice that our map doesn't necessarily, or the map that we're looking at right here, right now, doesn't coincide with any of the actual land masses, or there are distinct differences with it. So that's certainly something to keep in mind as you are hunting these down, as the land formations will be a bit different. But as you can see, the map is starting to fill itself in now, so we will want to make our way over to the location, and that is going to be right around these little sandbars here. Now I'm going to eat some steak so I can replenish some of my hunger there, and that should allow us to move our way over there significantly faster than what we were doing before. Now, there's a couple of techniques or strategies that one can use when trying to uncover this map. One that I have found that works without fail, and frankly will save you a lot of time, is you will want to go to chunk coordinate x9 and y, or x9 and z9 when you are at the actual location. And these chests will always be buried either underneath sand or underneath gravel. So if we go down here, we'll knock away this singular block, and if it's anything like the last one that we saw, the chest will be right underneath it. So we'll go ahead and collect those goods out of it. I like to leave the goods that we pull out of there in there, and you'll need to watch out for drowning, because that is a real point of concern as well. But we'll come back down. I've grabbed the... You know what, let's grab this water breathing just because we're here with it. And we don't really have a need to come back here for this piece specifically. So we'll try and take this gold just because it's kind of nice to have. We'll want to take these emeralds, I think. And there's not really a whole lot apart from this diamond that I'm incredibly interested in. We will want to get rid of some things to make room for it. And I've got a lot of really valuable things in here, if I'm being completely honest. I don't know what I want to get rid of. I suppose I can leave behind this slightly spent pick based off the fact that we have an Unbreaking 1 pickaxe as well as a completely fresh pickaxe here. If I really, really wanted to, I could come back here at any given moment and recollect those. And, I mean, assuming that I ever make my way out here in this general direction again. And then we're going to go ahead and leave behind these sweet berries, because I'm honestly never really going to farm them up. And so they're just going to waste some space in my inventory, if we're being completely honest there. But yeah, that's kind of the basic ins and outs of looting those shipwrecks and the buried treasure when and if you find them. Now, I am going to make my way back over to home base. Hopefully we find a swamp on our way over there. If not, it's not the end of the world. We will be able to find that by a future episode. Well, it took quite a while, but I finally made it back to our little base camp here. And as you can see over my shoulder, we did manage to find a little friend about 8,000 blocks away from spawn. And normally I wouldn't train a parrot to bring it all the way back home, but I didn't want to trek all the way back out to where that area was, so I decided to stick it out. And that's because, well, we need to do one more advancement, seeing how we didn't get the slime from a swamp, as we just didn't find one. And that is looking at a parrot through our spyglass, which gives us the Is It a Bird advancement. And since the nether portal is right here, we're going to quickly pop over and see if we can get the Is It a Balloon advancement here as well. Now, we may not be able to, but it's worth at least a pop over to see if we can find anything. And it's exclusively if there are any ghasts in the area, and I don't think that they like these basalt deltas as much as they do other biomes within the Nether, and I'm not about to run around and see if I can find one, because we will get this achievement eventually. It would just be kind of cool if it were available right here, right now. But it's not, so that's where we're going to leave things off for today. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure that you leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe for that daily variety content. And we'll be back with another installment in this series next week and plenty of other videos between now and then. Thanks so much for your time, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.